Smarajit. How are you?
I'm doing all good, Vashi. How are you?
All well, and thanks for joining us today for this, call late in the evening. Really appreciate this. So, to begin with, Smarajit, if you could just give us a quick introduction about yourself, let's start with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Smarajit. I work at Mastercard. I've been working for about 5 years now. So I work in a very interesting field, which is at the intersection of data science and macroeconomics. Prior to this, I did my graduation and my master's from one of the IITs. It's the Indian Institute of Technology, BHU, in applied physics. So yeah, that has been my journey so far.
Great. So, could you also share with us, Smarajit, about, what program you're looking to, what program you applied to, and what were your decisions, admits, scholarships, those?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so as I said, I kind of have a very unique work experience in the intersection of tech, data, and finance, which is macroeconomics. So I was looking to apply at programs which are kind of aligned. So mostly applied to a few financial engineering masters. I also applied to a couple of masters in finance programs, and a few masters in econ as well. And primarily mostly applied to US universities. I also did apply to a few universities in the UK and one in Singapore. In terms of admits, I think it's pretty much apart from two or three universities, got admits from every other place. I applied to most US universities, a few universities in the UK and one in Singapore as well. The admits that I received was one from UC Berkeley for the Masters in Financial Engineering, also one from Cornell, one from NYU, one from Rutgers Business School with a scholarship, one from Boston University as well with some scholarship, and one from Georgia Tech. That was all from the US. In the UK, I also got an admit from the University of Cambridge with scholarship, and one from the National University of Singapore as well. Given my options and looking at my future goals, I'm finally heading to University of California, Berkeley.
Great. Thank you so much. Impressive list of admits. You've covered like top geographic locations for finance sector. You covered US, you covered UK, you covered Singapore. And I think any Ivy League or anybody who would be aspiring to get into these top schools, I think you covered all those. So congrats on that. I think that's amazing. So if you let us know what was your highlight or special moment, working with Lilac Buds, and what actually made you choose Lilac Buds, is that what I would want to understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before I answer your question directly, let me also kind of highlight why did I want to work with someone, right? Because I think many students would have this question that, I can rather do this alone. But given my position, as I just highlighted, I actually I'm kind of in a rather high pressure work already. So I work in finance, which is pretty much a very high stakes work even currently. And given my unique work experience, I felt the need for help for from someone who can kind of articulate it well. So while it's of course my experience, but I feel that I am maybe not the best person to kind of articulate that. So that's where I wanted help. I did speak with a few similarly positioned other admission consultants also. But to be honest, when I spoke with Karan, and Karan is the person who I kind of have worked with throughout my journey over the last 1 year. When I spoke with Karan, what I could find was a very good balance of ambition as well as realism. So while we can be ambitious that let's go for only the top N colleges, top and ranked colleges globally, which eventually I didn't get into many of these. But while you're applying, you also need to be kind of realistic in your approach towards it, right? So that's
Yeah.
where kind of that was the main reason while speaking with Karan, and like the humility that he came with and the honesty that he kind of showed. That was where that which clicked for the best for me. I also spoke with a few of my alumni who are also, in this working in similar industry, like in the higher education consulting and admission industry. And then many of them also recommended LilacBuds to me. So it was a combination of the two. And Yeah, I mean, has worked great for me. So I can't
Great.
complain at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So anything about this process which really stood out for you, which you felt, yeah, okay, any highlight or a special moment all throughout your journey?
Yeah. I think the key highlight, which I kind of I did refer about this to some other conversation as well, is so the first college where I kind of put my application, I got a reject. So while as I'm discussing, we are targeting top schools. I was fairly confident given my undergraduate degree as well as my work experience that kind of I would get in one of the few top universities. But the first college where we applied, we got a reject, and it was very heartbreaking because we were not even well, I was not even kind of selected for the interview. Got a reject at like just at the application stage itself, which more often than not also shatters your confidence, I'd say,
Right. True.
because and it was not one of the most ambitious schools by any means, like from the list that I was looking at. But I think one good thing that Karan kind of took, he took a bit more control in the process. He was like, we need to be confident and comfortable with every set of the steps. So any answer, no matter how small, short the answer is, no matter how trivial it sounds, it needs to be polished, and it's all of it needs to kind of connect towards your broader story. So that's where he kind of I needed a bit of handholding at that point, to be honest. That's where he kind of helped me kind of regain not only my confidence but also like support the application process. So that has been the biggest highlight to me.
Great. So I think you had a really great experience working with Karan. And yeah,
Yeah.
he really, like, as you mentioned, it was a 1 year long journey. So it was a good long time you worked with him. So you mentioned the first college, there was no interview invite as well. So how was your interview experience for the others, and how was that handled by the team?
Yeah. I think I mean that's also a very important thing, because what I'm seeing like from where I am at is interviews are more and more becoming a more important part of the application now. So I think and we more often than not might ignore it because a lot of the initial processes do not involve any face time with either
Correct.
the admissions committee or any alumni. So I think the first interview which I gave was one with NUS, the National University of Singapore. And I remember I had a very detailed call with Karan about a couple of days before the interview. He kind of walked me through what to expect and how to present myself, how to answer questions. A lot of tips on like what's the ideal length of the answer. Should I should not kind of make it a monologue. I should, things like that. While also giving me the confidence by saying that if someone's calling me for an interview, it means that you've kind of really crossed the threshold that they have. They just want to see whether it's you exactly who is the person whose essay they're reading, or is it like someone else. So that really helped, and where it really also helped is I remember in the same interview I was kind of thrown a curveball at the first question, but because I kind of prepped before the interview, kind of really worked well for me. So yeah, I mean, so again, 10 on 10 for helping me go to the interviews as well. I also did interviews with a few others, even Berkeley, which kind of was the final college which I selected. Of course, all of those went really well.
Great. That's great to hear. So, what advice would you have, for any future students who are looking to study masters abroad? Any pieces of, wisdom which you feel based on your experience, things which they should consider before they, start, thinking about getting on this journey?
Yeah, I would say first step is to kind of have very clear goals in mind. So at least I would say that your short term goal has to be very clear, even if you are a bit muffled on your long term goal, which all of us understand. None of us have a very clear idea, anyways. But your short term goal needs to be very clear and articulated. That I want to do this program. This is why I want to do this program, and also how at least you feel that you are a good fit for the program. You need to kind of articulate that, think about that as well. Start early, because I don't see any reason for someone not to start early. The more time you have, the more time you would have to think about the entire process. And What I also feel is the application process is not only relevant for the application for that university, but it's also relevant for you to introspect on where you see your
True.
career moving forward. And number three is take help. If you feel at any point in time that, it can be your time commitment, can be your work, or can be anything else that you won't be able to give your 100% or what the kind of attention it deserves. It is, there's no, I would say, shame in asking for help.
Certainly.
That because in the overall scheme of things, these 6 months would become very important, or this 1 year would become very important for your next 10 or 15 or 20 years, however you want to look at it. So taking help is never a bad idea.
Okay, great. So before we close off, one last, why would somebody, based on your experience, why do you think like somebody should choose LilacBuds to work with them as their consultants? Like you mentioned, you did review a few other consultants, and you obviously we got recommended by a few schools. Karan was also one of the deciding factors with which made you decide working with LilacBuds. But apart from that, anything else which really stood out and made you feel, yeah, this was actually in the end, admits definitely prove, yeah, that was this right decision. But apart from that, in a general perspective, why somebody should choose working with LilacBuds?
Yeah, I would say, to be honest, the main reason is honesty and candidness, because that is something you would expect from someone who is in a position to help you out as an applicant. You don't want someone to be overly confident about your application, because that's not going to help you. You also don't want someone to kind of always pin you down, in the sense that let's only apply to safe schools, because that gives a higher guarantee of a convert, right? So you need someone who has a good balance, also someone who is able to fill your gaps. Like, as an applicant, there are things which I'm strong at. I just need someone who can help me at my weaker points. I think that's where my experience with LilacBuds has been really good. And yeah, I think these two are the most important things that one should look at. And I would say, if these are the things, then anyone should at least consider LilacBuds as one potential, potential option.
Great. Thank you so much, Smarajit. Thanks for taking out the time. All the best for your journey. You'll obviously be heading out to the US soon. So great. And we really wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.